If you do A-level PE and you're struggling with movement analysis questions, listen up to this. So they're asking here about the movement at the hip joint. So the first thing that students will get caught out with here is that they'll see this movement and they'll automatically think, oh, if I'm doing sit-ups, I'm training the abdominals. So they'll go with the abdominals as the agonist. But the abdominals don't cause movement at the hip. So instead, we've got to think about what muscles are actually causing movement at the hip, and also what is this movement at the hip. So this movement is flexion, and the agonist for hip flexion is the iliopsoas. That is the hip flexor. So that is the agonist for flexion at the hip on this upward phase. And any upward phase movement is always a concentric contraction, and then the downward phase of that movement will always be an eccentric contraction. So because it's the upward phase here, we're going to go with a concentric contraction there. And then importantly, on an upward and downward phase question, the agonist will always be the same. So although on the downward phase it's now extension at the hip, it's still the iliopsoas. So on any upward and downward phase question, the agonist will always be the same. And on the upward phase, it will always be concentrically contracting. And then on the downward phase, it will always be an eccentric contraction. So the muscle is lengthening as it's contracting. And then that is extension on the way down. So don't be fooled by the image. Don't automatically just go, oh, that's the abdominals, because the abdominals don't actually cause movement at the hip. So always check what joint they're asking about first.